Hello, and welcome back to the channel. The doc is indeed in, and today we are covering another episode of Demon Slayer, episode 9, Defeating an Upper Rank Demon. Or, I forget, I think that's the title. But I'm gonna give you the way. This episode has so much stuff in it, so we're just gonna step right into it. Not even gonna introduce stuff. If you wanna know how we do these little reviews, you can check out other videos on the channel. I can do that now because I have like a nice little catalog now. It's pretty nice. Anyway, so Tengen and his wives have a little. Well, Tengen has a memory of him and his wives. They basically at one of his family's graves, or maybe it's like a whole all their graves or whatever. Just basically, he's like kind of like visiting, honoring them. When you like go visit the cemetery, like a dead relative and so on. And so basically, they're like all gonna eat together, like in their name and so on. And so there's like a little bit of musing about like how he feels about his family. Well, if he misses his family, he says yes and all that stuff. It basically we kind of learned, but it was kind of suggested that he basically says that he's living flashily in the name of his dead family members, and so that's why he does this. That's why he is the way he is, and so on and so forth. After that, we cut back to the current fight, and so basically from where we left off in the last episode, Tanjiro and Tengen are going for Gyutaro's neck. He's currently weakened. He can't regenerate. We're gonna get the kill, right? Wrong. Shuriken, well, actually Kunai, falls out of his neck. He instantly regenerates because that's how upper moons are apparently, and he is able to then retaliate with the blood demon art, which basically causes a bunch of like his blood sickle things to form around his arms. He's basically just going to use that to kind of shred them up since they're coming at him. But Tengen's able to stop, and he kicks Tanjiro out of the way to save him from getting shredded, because that's where that was about to go. And after Tengen kicks Tanjiro out of the way, he uses another sound breathing technique. Tengen's sound breathing techniques focus around using his blades to activate his, you could say, bombs, and basically causing a bunch of explosions all at once. It seems like that's the case. That, or I mean, if you believe that the techniques actually do cause their thingy, then he's just swinging his stuff so hard they cause explosions. But much of either way, point is, it looks pretty cool, and he's able to stop Gyutaro's attack. But after that, Gyutaro's gone. Tengen's like, whoa, wasn't I just swinging on him? Where'd he go? And basically, we zoom in on Tengen's wife, Hinatsuru, learned the name this time, and basically she's on the roof and she's like, she's on the roof and she's basically like, Tengen, don't worry about me, you just take care of yourself, because there's like a bunch of the ribbons coming at him and stuff. But then he actually should be worried about her, because Gyutaro immediately then closes the distance on her. He's like, yeah, you gotta go. You almost got me killed. I mean, I survived, obviously, upper rank for a reason, but a father like you needs to stay in your place. And so he's about to body her. He basically like grabs her head. Given he could just cut her head off like instantly, but it wouldn't be a good show if we didn't have a little bit of theatrics here. So he grabs her head. He's basically gonna just kind of like mush her head, or at least that's what I assume he is gonna do. Maybe he's like gonna like put blood in her body and kill her or something. But point is, it looks like he's gonna crush her head. And so Tanjiro is like, all right, I need to get in there, because Tengen's getting basically wrapped up in Daki's bandage belt blades, and so he can't really get close the distance on her immediately. But we see, as Tengen's like, basically being afraid that his wife's gonna get killed, we go back to another memory of him and his wives, and basically they're like on this hill during a sunset, and the meek cute one basically is talking about a dream of hers, and he's like, oh yeah, it's pretty flashy. And Makio, the rude one, is basically making fun of her. And then Hinatsuru comes in, and she's basically like, after we kill an upper rank, we should fall out of this game, It won't repent. It's not going to completely repent for everything we've done in the past, but, we should call it quits after that. Is basically the gist of what I got. I mean, she said a lot of stuff. it was kind of confusing, but it seems like in the past, as ninjas, they probably killed people. And so, as a form of repentance, it seems, they become demon slayers to, like, help a lot of people. And that's why they value human lives over everything else and whatnot. And they're kind of like sort of pseudo suicide missioning constantly because this is all like a repentance thing. They're trying to like do the right thing, unlike what they did previously, which was cool. And so after that, basically, Tengen gets wrapped up or whatever. We cut to Tanjiro after getting kicked, and he's like, I need to go save Hinatsuru, gotta close the distance. And he's like, okay, ain't no way I'm gonna get there just running on foot. I need to use my breathing techniques. He's like, I'll use Kagura. He's about to do it, starts breathing a little bit, and his body's like, psych, you thought, we're not built for that anymore. And so he's basically like, I don't know what I can do. And so then he thinks to combine water breathing and the Kagura. And he's able to close the distance, and he slashes Gyutaro's arms, and is able to get Hanatsuru out of the way. It looks pretty cool. It's like the water, it's all the water effects in combination with like little fire effects around the sides. Very nice. And basically, Gyutaro's like, you really did save her. Well, looking at him, he's definitely not in any condition to really stop me after this, so I guess I'll just kill him now. Works for me. And while Gyutaro's thinking that and basically is about to charge, Tanjiro's thinking about how basically all breathing techniques, I guess because of the lore that he learned and everything in this season, he knows that Kagura is like the original technique, everything else is just made off that. So part of not being able to use the Kagura is because it's really hard and very taxing on the body. So that's why we have the alternative forms or technique styles, because that is more effective for each person to use. That's why we have branching techniques from like the main techniques. Like for example, water is like a main technique, but you got like mist or like sound breathing and so on and so forth. Those are all alternatives that work best for the user in question. So Tanjiro's case, he's now thinking, okay, I can't use the Kagura out basically killing myself. And water breathing, while I'm good at it, I just can't really hit that peak. But if I combine the two, then he can really like go to the next level, or at least go to the next level in a way that's comfortable for him. So we see more of that as the episode goes along. But basically, Gyutaro's like, alright, well, you saved her, but you can't save yourself and her from me now. And so he pulls up on him. Tanjiro's able to block the first attack, but Gyutaro's going to use his other sickle. He's going to just basically cut through them. But Tengen gets away from the belt bleeds, and then he comes up and he basically thanks Tanjiro for saving his wife, and he's coming from behind. From there, we cut to commercial, and we come back, and we got Inosuke and Zenitsu. Earlier in the episode, I was kind of worried, because I was like, dang, really just gonna have another Tengen Tanjiro episode? Like, where the other two boys at? Come on. Pretty cool. I want to see them fight. So, cutting to Inosuke and Zenitsu, sorry. Basically, they're still having trouble getting through all the belt bleeds and everything. And Inosuke notices that Tengen's about to cut off Gyutaro's neck, or at least it appears that way. And so he's like, oh, we gotta rush him. Or rush her, so then we cut the neck at the same time so they die and so on. But basically, Zenitsu's like, whoa there, Captain. If you go in there all reckless like, you're gonna die. We don't really need to worry about necessarily like cutting them at the exact same time. They're not connected in that way. As long as we cut them both off in the same... As long as they're both cut off at one point and separated from their bodies at the same time at one point, we're good. So you don't need to rush and be reckless. And then Inosuke's basically like, dang, Zenitsu really became a Chad when he's asleep. And he is. And so, basically what happens from there is that we cut back to Tengen and Tanjiro. And basically Tanjiro's like, alright, I gotta help. I can't just stand here and let Tengen go in for the slice. I gotta go in for the slice too. We gotta make sure we really maximize the potential of actually beating this demon. So he goes in for a slice from the front, Gyutaro goes in for a slice from the back, and Gyutaro, even though it looks like he's about to get caught again, once again, blocks with his sickles, and he's basically like, Nah, I'm sorry to say, but you guys ain't gonna catch me. So then he uses his sickles and he's able to stop their blades on his. Well, they don't cut him, but basically they're close enough, and he's touching them with the sickles. So he controls the sickles and he's able to like extend like fleshy bits onto the blade so they can't get away, or at least they have to like let their blades go to get away from him. And he uses his tornado blood sickle thing again, and this time basically what Tengen does is that he basically yeets himself and Gyutaro off the roof away from Hinetsuru and Tanjiro. And so basically it turns into a 1v1 between Tengen and Gyutaro. From here we get into a lot of action as Zenitsu and Inosuke, basically their fight extends onto the roof that Tanjiro and Hinetsuru are on, and it's about to get real big. The three boys are back together, and somebody, a demon, is about to die. So, Hitsuru is basically like, I'm cool, but she gets attacked for like a second, but Zenitsu and Tanjiro save her. And basically Hitsuru's like, alright, I'm gonna get out of here, because, yeah, I did my one part, you guys got the rest. Working together, they come to the plan that basically somebody with two blades, or at least multiple people, well, multiple blades need to try to cut off Daki's head at the same time because his neck's too soft, cut off with just one blade. And obviously, Inosuke's the dual blade wielder, and he's like, yeah, I'll take care of that. I got it. And so then, Tanjiro and Zenitsu basically become his blockers, and they're basically like, alright, we'll clear the path so you can get in, and you just run straight ahead. And so that's what he does. Inosuke uses a breathing technique, but it's basically just him saying, alright, I'm just going to run straight, and I'm not going to do anything else. And he doesn't. He just runs straight. And we get a lot of Zenitsu and Tanjiro using their different breathing techniques. Well, not different for Zenitsu, only he's done clap and flash. But basically they're just blocking all the attacks. It's very nice looking. And so, that's all going on, and Inosuke just keeps running. And Daki's like, dang, he's really just running at me. And he is. And then as he closes the distance, he jumps into the sky, and he's able to get his swords on her neck. And she's like, oh, well, your blades suck anyway. They're all tarnished and broken and stuff. And then he uses his breathing technique, which is basically just him using blades in a sawing motion. And he's able to slice off her head. He takes the head, starts playing football, and runs. And he runs and he runs. Because Daki, she still technically, as I thought about, because I was like, oh, he cut off her head, but technically her body still works. So she uses her belt blade. She tries to cut him, but it doesn't work. And then she also uses her hair. Apparently she's able to use her hair to also extend. But because she's just a head, she's way weaker, as Inosuke mentions. And he just runs away. And Tanjiro's basically talking to him. He's like, oh, be careful, whatnot, whatnot. He's like, I got it. I just gotta run for my life and keep her head away from her body so you guys can get her guitar. After that, Tanjiro's like, alright, let me go get with Tengen so we can beat Gyutaro and win the night. Because this is nighttime. But then, we get a selection of some of the, well, not the craziest scenes, but just a whole bunch of unexpected stuff happens. Like, I did not see this coming at all. Alright, so then, we see that Tengen is down. We see Gyutaro stab through Inosuke, through the chest, and saves his sister. And then Daki, I guess her body, attacks Zenitsu and Tanjiro using the belt blades. And basically Tanjiro starts falling, and he's just like, shoot, we're dead. And I'm not even a cap. They are dead, because dang, Tengen's down. And that was like the worst case scenario. I mentioned that in the last episode. Worst case scenario was that if Tengen goes down, the three of them, they're not going to really be strong enough to take on Gyutaro and Daki at the same time. Now, given Daki's still kind of out of the match, without her head connected to her body, she's still not really at full power. She maybe her body's at like 60%, her head's at like 5%. But now that Gyutaro's pretty much put Inosuke out of the game, because I mean he got stabbed through the chest. I mean, it's still possible for him to probably still fight a little bit, but he was already getting sliced up by the belt blades, and now he's been poisoned, can't forget that, and stabbed through the chest. So while Zenitsu still doesn't really have too many injuries, Tanjiro's been reaching his limit, surpassed his limits, and is probably now reaching his limit again. And Tengen's not only just down, he's also been poisoned this entire time, so he's probably well far along on that. As you see when he's on the floor, his like more of his body's like poisoned. Like you see the purple on like his arm instead of just behind his ear in the area. And you also see his hand's been cut off, or at least like one of either his hand or his whole arm's been cut off. So it's all looking very, very dire. And then they cut the episode there, and I was like, bro, don't blue ball me like that. Like it's ridiculous. But it was really good. It's really good because I'm definitely gonna go see the next episode. Like I mean, I was already gonna do it, but that was very surprising. So I mean, yeah, it was a really good episode. I really liked it. It was kind of fast paced, kind of fast paced. A lot of stuff happened there. Like I make index cards and put little notes for the episode, and I had to use 2 index cards this time because there's just so many things that happen. But yeah, it was really good. A lot of things happened, but it was in a digestible manner. Animation once again still a slapper. I cannot complain. Um, and yeah, I don't really know how in the world they're gonna get out of this one. Zenitsu, like I said, Zenitsu's still up, but unless Zenitsu's gonna get like, he also surpasses limits to like do something, I don't really know what he's gonna do. I'm thinking maybe Nezuko comes back out in her like strong form, but is able to control it this time, and she's able to close the gap that Tengen leaves open. But otherwise, I don't know. I mean, Tengen might still get back up, but as it stands right now, I mean, he's going to be way weaker than he was before. And unless they're able to keep Daki's head away from her body somehow and like fight Gyutaro into a way of like not being able to get her head back on, it's gonna be a 2v1, a 2v possibly 5, because I think Nezuko might come back into it. I don't at this point. I don't see her not staying out of it because at this point they're in way too dire a situation. I don't think any of them are at a point where they could handle still fighting like full health demons at this point. So I think Nezuko's gonna hop in here. Maybe Tengen might come back up for like some crazy pseudo esoteric art attack to get Gyutaro off his game, and then maybe it's Zenitsu, maybe it's Tanjiro, maybe it's a combination of everybody, but they're gonna need to do something. I mean, Hinatsu is probably still in the area, so maybe she might come in handy with throwing another kunai, maybe catching him at just the right time. Who knows? But yeah, I'm definitely excited for the next episode. This episode's probably, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. That ending, the whole ending section, chef's kiss. It was very, very nice way to end the episode. And yeah, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you like. Leave a dislike if you dislike. I know you can't see them, but I can see them. So if you want to hurt my feelings, you can do that all the same by pressing that button. Leave a comment if you want to comment. And tune in for the next one, which will be next week, Sunday. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.